my Divine Crystal family. Let's dive into another really important topic with the womb chakra technologies and work. And we're going to see that this doesn't just apply to the womb chakra and these technologies, but we're going to see that this topic of decharging is actually really vital and important no matter what technologies that we're using. So we want to think of this as a way that anytime we are taking on energy, incurring energy through interactions with others, doing hands-on, whether you're doing something like a hands-on modality with another person, such as massage, acupuncture, any kind of things like that, or if you're some sort of practitioner that does one-on-one with another person, be this counseling, coaching, seeing patients, uh, even if you are working, say, in an office environment where you see clientele one-on-one, you are in these interactive moments where you are more likely to take on the energy from others. Now, this is also very important, even if you're not seeing someone one-on-one in physicality. The hands-on is a really big deal, but even when we are working through modalities like Zoom, so doing online interactions with other people, sometimes even phone or text, can also be exchanges of energy. So now in this modern day, as we have so many ways to stay connected, we want to recognize that the transference of energy can come in all kinds of ways. And when we do incur that energy into our field, then what do we do with it? So we're going to look at this through the womb chakra technologies, and then I do want to press it and then even add a little bit at the very end, a couple other things, such as technologies like our shungite. We've talked about these, some of these quite a bit, but I wanted to just amplify the energy of shungite. I'm going to reach over here. And I want to, again, talk about rose. You're just the mist in there. Oh, feels so good. So rose water, rose essential oil, geranium essential oil, castor oil. These are some of the things that I utilize pretty much on a daily basis. Just sometimes I'll take even just a drop of rose essential oil and a drop of like geranium and mix it with the castor oil and then place it on the skin as a bit of a barrier against shungite, whether you're wearing it. I actually have shungite earrings on right now. Whether or not I don't have it right now, we've talked about fingernail polish, these kinds of things. So these are sorts of energies that we can start to utilize for decharging. So you can reference some of the other videos we've talked about with some of those technologies, but now let's look at it from the womb chakra work, and you're going to see that there are some beautiful correlations within the womb chakra as well as the things that we have been working with. So the first one I want to touch in on is going to be this document here. I'll slide this. Actually, I can't slide it down. But anyways, it's from the Divine Mother School, the Holy Womb Chakra. And this is just a really short document on decharging and the reasons for decharge for healers. So when we do exchanges of energies with others, it's really about us opening up our energy field. So here, again, these are going to be a lot of quotes from Sri Kalishwar. It says, healing is done with the open heart. Open heart sucks energy. Senses suck energy. What the eyes see goes to the soul. I love that. We've talked about that a lot, about how things get in through screens, through visuals, through videos, through things we see, and how even the guardians at different times will tell us to shut down from media because there's shrapnels of things being sent through. Wow, powerful here. What the eyes see goes to the soul. Healing is part of the cycles of energy of the creation. When you are sending, you are also receiving. Generally in America, the healers, like 85, 95% of what I observed, why they're facing a lot of problems is because they know only how to give help. If you are not decharging, a tiny bit, tiny bit, tiny bit keeps adding up in you. You have to be aware whenever you're sending something, you're also receiving something. You're sending the energy, giving the blessings. Then you're also taking the negativity, the karmas. In the Indian tradition, we say you're like a vacuum, sucking the karmas. If you're taking karma from any person, you need to know how to switch it in a good way and send it back to the nature. You received it, then you need to know how to decharge it and how to handle that. Otherwise, you get a little shaky. I'm serious. Sri Kalishwar. Oh, I hope you guys are falling in love with some of his language. I just love listening to his way that he translates into the English language. So this is really powerful. So he's just flat out saying that any exchanges of energies, even if you're sending and intending to send good energy or healing energy to another, that no matter what you're sending, you're also receiving. And that even if it's just a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, that little bit adds up. And if you aren't finding a way to take whatever's adding up and to let it go, it's actually accumulating in your field. Charging is essential. Decharging is more essential. Let me actually say that again. Charging is essential. So we're charging our energy every time we do mantras, yantras, our zones, all the different visualizations and things we do. We are building our charge, our power, our energy. And he's saying decharging is even more essential. If you know how to decharge, you're a powerful, successful person. Decharge for minimum of 10% of time spent healing. Decharge before you eat or drink. Very interesting, right? Easy and effective decharge techniques. Use these when experiencing negative energy or after giving healings. So here we're going to just talk about some of the ways that they have suggested that we can utilize some decharging techniques. For all approaches, you can set the intent to release negativity. For all approaches, you can add your own personal mantra. So remember, when you're working with your personal mantra, you are doing it personally within yourself. You're not saying it out loud. So even if you are working with another individual and you feel a buildup of energy, go ahead and you can even do your personal mantra within just your thoughts. The appropriate element mantra, or adding whom if you do not have a personal mantra or element mantra charged. So we're all working on activating, at least at minimum, the fire element. So that would mean the fire element, even if you're doing your fire element mantra at night. Om Hrim Hasharim Hrim Dim Dim Klim Klim Som Som Maha Agni Svrupa Nana Namaha with your pointer finger. And sometimes I actually like to touch my pointer fingers together. Sometimes I'll actually touch them like this. While there's actually a position I can do while still doing the mala, um, where you can actually kind of hold it in what would be the mudra, kind of near the fire center at the base chakra. Now, within this, as you're doing the fire, you actually are imagining there's actually a decharging or a healing energy with the fire where you're utilizing your pointer finger while you're saying it, because it's your fire finger. And as you're doing that, it's actually moving the energy right out of you. So it's saying you can use your personal mantra. You can actually use an element mantra. One of the best ones is either going to be fire or earth. And you can also add whom. So if you can, you basically can start to add a sound tone if you don't have one of these others, to begin to utilize that energy to just start moving the energy right out. But I will say, if there is something that you're clearing, or if you are doing something like Tonglen for another individual, if you are actually doing a clearing or a remote uh, healing assistance for another individual. If you can do that at night with a candle lit, doing the fire element mantra, it's actually a really great way to actually help assist that energy for that individual, but also decharge whatever's clearing at the same time, so you don't have to keep having it in your field. Another thing to do is one I think we're all very familiar with, is actually take your bare feet and go walk on the earth. This is one of the key elements for our projector family. So if you are a projector type, this is actually one of your number one modalities you're meant to implement if you get overwhelmed by other people's energy. And so right here is another way. Earth element is a particularly strong decharge, but also recharges you as well. So that one is very, very powerful. Another way or technique is to take your thumb. Your thumb is connected to the earth element, and to place your thumb on the earth for at least 15 to 20 minutes, more if 10% of time is longer. So he's talking about if 10% of the healing time. So say you were doing a session for 60 minutes, that would be 6 minutes at the 10%. But now say it's more than that. Maybe you did a really long, that would be a really long 20 minutes would be like like just a very long healing session. So if you've done a very, very long, energy exchange session, healing session, modality session with another individual, then you might want to do longer than 20, but 15 to 20 minutes putting your thumb into the earth. Now, there is the earth mantra, which is I love it. It's a bit longer. There's two earth mantras. You can utilize the shorter one or the longer one. The longer one, I think, has just such a neat cadence to it. But that is also one that can be said at the same time. Another way to clear energy is watch the rising sun as it comes up over the horizon. Stare at it till you feel even a little bit squinty, then quit. While watching the sunrise, you may also chant the 9 arrows mantra. Let me show you what that is. And they might have it in here, I don't know. So when you look at your womb chakra, there's actually the petals in here, and it actually goes down if you were to go through here. So it's like doing the Yamataraja Bana Salagam Naja Baja Jaja Ra Masa Jasa Tata Ga Barana Baba Rava. So the nine arrows, one of the part of the 9 arrows is this. There's another spot we're going to go over the 9 arrows. Another thing to do is to take a shower, a bath, go swimming while inwardly chanting Hum. The water element works especially well on emotion. So I think that one is one that we probably have all utilized at a different time. Now, another one is to just place your feet in bath with water and rose water or rose petals. Try adding the chant Hum while your feet are in the water. So within this, they keep mentioning Hum. I would also say with Hum, you could use Aum, but again, Hum is going to be an energy, just knowing sometimes they actually write things a little bit different in each of the ways they say it. So this is very much going to be utilizing a bija or a sound tone in order to move some energy. Now, another idea is to hold the head of a rose. So he used to do a lot of work with roses. He would hold roses a lot of times while he was giving discourses. And then at the end, he would actually take the rose, utilize the fire element, turn it into ash. And then that ash becomes a healing substance. He would take that ash and like put it on people's foreheads or on areas that were having ailments and actually do miraculous healings for people in that way. It was pretty neat. There's a few different videos where it does show him doing that, but hearing other people talk about it, it sounds pretty incredible. Right here, it's important. It says roses are a high vibration flower and will pull out negativity. Yes. After decharging, throw the rose away in the nature somewhere nobody else will touch it. So that's pretty neat. It's kind of like the rose kind of takes in the energy, and then you give it back to the earth where it's not going to be disturbed by anyone, and the natural process of earth just takes it back in and does its cycle of rebirth. Another is to hold a black stone or place the black stone on any part of your body where you have aches or pains. The black stone is like a magnet to negative energy and automatically sucks the negativity out. That is pretty amazing. I'm actually going to amplify that with this. had this in a different spot. So we've talked quite a bit about the tektite and the tektite energy. Now, the incredible thing about the tektite, and then of course the shungite, I don't have, well, I'm wearing a piece of shungite, so shungite is also black. Now, both of these are black stones. Both of these have different qualities. Shungite is going to take things and it's not even going to work quite like a magnet in pulling the energy. It's going to be more of a transformative or a transfiguration of energy. Transfiguration, where it's literally taking it, turning it into something else. It's not like it goes anywhere else, like a magnet takes it and pulls it somewhere else. Tektite, on the other hand, really powerful because it's primarily set. It's part of the Moldavite family, and it pulls spirit, entity, attachment energies off of us. So you take it and you can rub it especially over your abdomen, near your belly button area, or places where you feel negative energy has gotten stuck to you, and the tektite will begin to pull that off of you. It is amazing. Um, I will continue to talk about tektite. It is one of the main one of the main stones that I carry. I have found one that fits beautifully within my hand, but I've literally bought boxes of it, and it's all around the property. It's all over the place. It's one of the gifts I like to give to people if I see you in person, just because it's such a powerful stone to be helpful. Now, another thing to do here is it says look into any kind of fire, including candles, decharging through your eyes, and hold your hands out with the finger spread pointing to the fire. You can also add chanting the 9 arrows mantra while staring in the flame. So he did mention utilizing one of the element mantras up above. So if you are utilizing a candle or doing the fire, like a bigger fire ceremony, you can take it. That's why we use the fire ceremony so much. It is so powerful for transforming things. And within that, as you just imagine gifting, it's just letting it all go, like it goes off of your fingertips, out of your eyes, out of every part of you. You can begin to do it. But then it's saying you can also chant the 9 arrows mantra while staring at the flame. There's a few different aspects to the 9 arrows mantra, but again, if you have the womb chakra, just the petals themselves go left to right, top to bottom, and that is one of the kind of like they're the bejas, there's the seed sounds. You're seeing all the mantras, the petals have usually 2 to 3 letter words, and those are like then put together in combinations for the other words, and they're very, very powerful. They're just known as like the little seed syllables. Now, another is to look at the picture of Jesus, Shirdi Baba, or your favorite deity. Open your heart and look into the eyes in that picture. Ask him or her to take all the negativity. I love that. That is something, we've talked about. I don't have anything that's on me while I'm doing it. This picture is available on the website for you to see as an example. This is kind of like a little collage I've put together of different individuals that really have a resonance within my heart. So you, again, make your own. You want to have your own. Some of the individuals might be the same beings. But for the most part, you really want to find your collective, your council that you're working with, that really means something to you, that when you see them, they inspire your heart to open up. So now let's look at here an introduction to discharging. We're just going to kind of slide down here. And it says right in here, the 5 elements are the pillars upon which all rest, including the human body. Purifying the elements through decharging increases soul capacity, literally magnetizing the soul to attract high positive energy. They purify negativity surrounding the soul and open energy channels to the elements. When these energy pathways are open, the exchange of vibrations occur automatically between the soul and the natural elements. You can use this for decharging negativity. All the while, the magnetism of your soul continues to increase. This means you can easily draw out certain types of negativity from people, and then just as easily decharge the negativity into the earth, water, or fire. Even though a lot of abilities are in you, a lot of abilities are around you. Still, you need to face the negativity and learn to switch it into positivity. This is and can be done through decharging through the 5 elements. If you are receiving negative energy from another person, you need to know how to switch it in a good way, turn it into positive energy, and send it back. Once, if you receive that negative energy, you need to know how to decharge it, how to handle that. Otherwise, you get pretty bumpy. You'll get a little shaky. So I love his language again. He talks a lot about that, like about that if our energy starts to get shaky, or he'll call it pretty bumpy. It basically means like things just feel like they're not working. We feel like we're out of sync. We feel like things just aren't in the flow in the right way. And it feels like things just like we have to work a lot harder than we should to make things happen. This is a big deal. So what he's saying is it's basically other people's energy in our field. It's we've accumulated too much stuff and haven't learned how to move it, or our womb chakra is too messy, is how he would say it. So what one of the things that it's saying is that once you know how to recharge into the 5 elements of nature and understand how to keep the 5 elements of your body balanced, you can create your own protection circles. So that's really what we're doing, is we're learning how to work and activate the elements within us so that we start to learn to balance those elements within ourselves. And as we learn to work with them, it's a give and take energy. So it helps to some aspects, it helps to balance or recharge our energy. In other ways, it can help to decharge. It's a whole flow within creation. So let's go ahead and go into the next link here. This is actually, if you guys are interested, this is actually one of the free courses on the Divine Mother School. Not from the womb chakra course. This is actually the course on charging all of the elements. So the importance of decharging: as a human being, you create, receive, and transmit both positive and negative energy. Likewise, we are awash in a sea of positive and negative energy as we live our lives. And through the 5 element channels, we can decharge or be relieved of any negative energies we may accumulate in our daily activities. So we're going to kind of skim through that. And then as we look at this, here are key causes of self-generated negativity. Whatever you wanted, you didn't get it. Your longing, your desire wasn't fulfilled, and you can't accept it. Another key cause of self-generated negativity, it says everything is there for you, but you can't feel happy about it. So really, again, we need to read this from Sri Kalaswar's kind of his meaning behind it. So he's basically saying that whatever you wanted, you didn't get it. You had a longing, or you had a desire, and you had this wish that it wasn't coming to you. So your wish wasn't fulfilled. And so therefore, it starts to create this block or this feeling inside. And then even if it shows up, there's almost a feeling you can't accept it. There's also another energy that causes negative energy, and it says everything is there for you, but you can't feel happy about it. And this we see all the time. People have all these blessings in their life, but they will pinpoint all the things that are not working in their life. It's like they will still be sad, they will still be miserable. It's like it's all perspective, right? So they can't feel happy about whatever it is they have. This is self-generated negativity. You have everything, but your feeling is you have nothing. Hearing unnecessary gossip for others or gossiping yourself. So he's talking about that even if we are in the midst of others gossiping, I don't know about you guys, it's like a lot of times, especially around family circles, there it seems to kind of be like this little jive of talking about things, but then in the end sometimes it starts to feel like gossiping. And I don't like, there's a little trigger inside that starts to feel like, oh, like a little bit uncomfortable in those situations. Well, he's actually saying that it's really unhealthy and negative energy for us to be in that environment. If we are in the midst of other people gossiping, or even with, we are the ones gossiping. The gossiping itself is literally a projection of energy that is quite negative. Hearing, we did that one. You are disciplined, but you still doing crazy things. for example, normally you drive slowly, but your mind makes you drive fast. So I love his little things. So, this is going to be in any area of our life, just finding where are we still having, honestly, I really feel this has to do with entity attachments. If we feel like we're quite disciplined in certain places. So maybe let's look at it from this perspective. Maybe you're really good at sitting down and doing your mantras, but it's really difficult for you to lock down, an exercise routine or a good eating habit routine, or vice versa. Maybe it's really easy for you to nail a really good workout routine or a work ethic routine, but then when it comes to making that same commitment to your spiritual practice, it feels very difficult to get that locked in. So what it's saying is that you can be very disciplined, but you find yourself doing crazy things. So this could be, talking yourself out of things, being busy, constantly being distracted by things, and having a desire to improve a particular area of your life, or act in a particular way. This could also be to the effect that you are a very, say, maybe level headed and calm person, but all of a sudden you're in a field where people are talking about something, or maybe all of a sudden your ex shows up and you start like literally acting a little bit different, out of the ordinary for yourself. It's really talking about any place we start to observe ourselves not acting like ourselves because there's some sort of outside influence kind of changing us. We want to really pay attention to what is that energy within our field. Another one, it says you believe and you trust, you love from your heart, and still your beloved leaves you. You are carrying heartbreak. So that one is going to be a place of self generated negativity. There's probably a whole discourse we could do on that one, just around love, relationships, and the heart. And then it says you're having lots of emotions like anger, aggression, doubt, greed, sadness, or jealousy. You're not able to control some negative emotions. Um, Again, he's saying utilize the elements to help with the decharging. I'm going to say definitely do that, utilize that, but also utilize it alongside with the awareness of the clearing processes and different ways to send things back to point of origin, because a lot of these things that are mentioned on this list are literally coming from entity attachments, shadow dancers, and a lot of the Metatronic reversals. So this is the beauty of kind of blending these technologies, is having a little bit more awareness of, it's not just a crazy thought in our head, we're actually really aware that there's something going on. So now as we look at the symptoms you need to decharge, it's going to be you feel a little bit unwell all the time. So you just feel either low energy, or you just never feel quite yourself, or you just there's always a little something going on. Maybe it's stomach aches, headaches, low energy. Maybe it's actual more than that, physical types of things going on. You're going to realize these are big things to pay attention to. You develop a real physical disease. So he's really, the work that he did was phenomenal. I mean, literally miraculous types of stuff. Um, and, this is something for us to just open our consciousness to. He constantly in his lifetime was able to look at actual physical ailments that people were going through, read the records of it in their womb chakra, and begin to move it through a lot of these elemental decharging types of techniques and clearing. So again, one of the things with the fire element is, again, if you were doing a clearing for someone, you would place your fire finger on kind of their forehead, and you could look into their eyes, and you would just chant the fire mantra over and over and over and over and over again until the energy would clear, and then you would move your finger. So, if you're feeling of increased mental disturbance, if there's a feeling of increased mental disturbance, so just crazy thoughts all the time, they just don't go away. And the next thing it says your thoughts are not clear. So this could be everything from squirrely thoughts to the feeling that you just can't keep your thoughts in order. um, burning of the eyes, headache, pain in the back, pain in the nerves, nausea, you have no hunger, pain in the muscles of the leg, or your mind cannot focus. It's kind of like every ascension symptom right there, right? Well, decharging, 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 decharging. If you want to do something wonderful, divine, and great, and then something hits you and your inspiration is low, that is big. That one is booby trap energy. That one happens all the time. So it's like there'll be an inspiration to do something, an energy, and the minute you start to think of it, it's almost like a mind wipe. And he's calling it, it's like something hits you and your inspiration is low. So what happens is you have the fire, the passion, and the desire, the spirit. The Holy Spirit is moving through you to do something. And then it's like, whew, just flips away. That is going to be catch where that is coming from, decharge it out of the energy, evict it out of the field, all of that stuff. So general guidelines and instructions for decharging, just a little bit more here. Think about when and how long to decharge, and what are the symptoms afterward. Make a plan. Always decharge at the latest before your next meal. So the other document again was saying to do it before you eat or before you drink anything. Very simple techniques. For energy healers, decharge for 10% of time you spend doing the healing or until you feel better. If your healing is 20 minutes, then for 2 minutes, decharge. Healing for 1 hour, decharge for 6 minutes. So 10%. How do you know that you have really decharged? It's simple, because then you feel better. I love it. It's very simple. I could just picture him saying these things. How do you know when you've really decharged? It's simple. You feel better. At any time you experience stress from hard work, decharge regularly to maintain your vitality and life force. Decharging is like brushing your teeth. You don't have to do it every day or even for years, but we know what happens when you don't brush your teeth. Decharging is like this. Just 10 to 15 minutes a day can help. Most common mistakes when decharging is just not doing it or not doing it long enough. So he's just basically saying the most common mistake if you were to do decharging and go like, oh, am I doing it right? He says the most common mistake is just not doing it or just not doing it long enough. So set your intentions firmly before decharging. It's important to always put your intention with the following intention. And here's a statement. Right now, I am decharging X, Y, and Z, and I am giving all the negativity in and around me away. So that's a cool clearing statement that we can add. You can modify that with some of the clearing processes, even within the I do not consent. But basically, there is an energy. What they're saying by taking an intent is you are focusing in on what is out of balance, and you are saying, no, I'm decharging it now. I'm grabbing this headache. I'm grabbing this nausea. I'm grabbing this low energy. I'm grabbing these negative thoughts. I'm grabbing whatever it is. And I am giving all this negativity in and around me away. Well, what are we giving it away to? That was all those decharging techniques. Main thing to remember with decharging is that when you start to feel these energies, you want to quickly recognize you have the tools. He's talking about black stones, so I suggest shungite and tektite as two of these tools. He talks about rose. Well, we know that even if you make it as a rose mist, if you make it as a rose essential oil, geranium is also very, very powerful and amazing. The Guardians keep talking about castor oil. You can make that as a carrier oil for these and then begin to put this as a clearing energy. Um, just to mist it around in order to decharge and clear. That you can utilize your thumb in the earth to begin to charge it out. You can take your feet on the ground in order to clear that energy out. You can utilize the flame of the fire to utilize the fire mantra to clear that energy out. You can go take a shower, swim, ocean, whatever is what you have available to you, and to clear that energy out. So that is how you could utilize these different energies. Now, the last thing I will say, as far as a decharging energy, and this is utilizing a little bit of the fire element, would be the salt burning process and the salt clearing. And this one is very, very powerful to do while you are feeling a lot of these energies, so you can actually light it. It's already influencing the etheric fields around you, and you can clear the energies. So I hope this has been a little bit helpful for you to look at some of the ideas. Also, just the last thing is just, the 9 arrows. You can just utilize even just this part right here, which is the petals, but you can also take a look at the PDF as far as the 9 arrows mantras if you want to go ahead and use some of those other ones that are there. With so much love, just remember to keep utilizing these sacred tools in everything you do. You want to make sure, no matter what you're doing, you are taking time to decharge all the time. Me, as I'm listening to this, my challenge is going to be to remember to decharge before I ever drink any of the water or eat any of the food I eat. So that will be my challenge. And for all of you, with so much love, may this be helpful for you in helping you remain vital and to restore all of your energy so that you can be the divine flame holders that you came here to be.